Hey, how's everybody doing? Wow, thank you so much, man. It's Hype Train on the intro. Thank you so much, man. How are you guys doing? Wow, what a last couple of weeks for me. I bet it's been busy for YouTube, but first of all, I apologize. This is the first break I've taken for this long from streaming. 2 weeks ago, I had a birthday party I had to go to, and then last week, I just, life. I had to get caught up on life, and so I apologize. And so, man, I'm back. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you're having a good Memorial Day weekend. If you're in the U.S., it's Memorial Day weekend. This weekend in the U.S. Canada is coming up soon, I think. Hey, and there's lots of lots of activity. So I appreciate all of the contributions or the subs and stuff. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I hope you're doing good. I apologize. Man, I love seeing the lights back there. If you can't tell, I am sitting down only because I've been doing yard work all day, all morning. And I'm like, I probably don't need to stand up for this stream. I might though, This is my first stream sitting in a really long time. So anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope you guys have a longer weekend this weekend. And yeah, let me know what you guys are working on. I've been doing tons of stuff. So I have some content coming. Yeah, lights are working too, bots working. Oh yeah. So speaking of, so this kind of feeds into what I've been working on. I've been on a code binge for a long time, trying to straighten out a ton of stuff. Not straighten out, I'll say improve. I've had stuff in my backlog for a lot of my personal code that I've been going through and fixing and doing and making better. So you guys know how it is with your home labs. You're always tweaking something, or you have something in your backlog and you're like, oh yeah, I should probably do that sometime. Well, I had 3 of those big things and I had a little bit of extra time, and that's what I've been doing. Plus working on something really awesome that kind of feeds into what I've been doing. Some auth stuff that's pretty cool. So that's coming soon. But man, how are you guys? What's going on? What are you guys working on? Yeah, let me know what you're working on. So I've been working, like I said, a ton of code stuff, some infrastructure stuff, always home lab stuff. I've uncovered and learned quite a bit with my own home lab, and I'm excited to share it. I need to figure out a better way to share smaller things that I'm working on. I know I have Twitter and Discord, and I try to share in there. But yeah, I'll get to there. How's the hair? The hair is wild. I am not showing the hair today because I've been out in the sun all day, and I have bedhead on top of curly hair on top of. It looks like a mad scientist. I might show it here in a second. And then we'll preface this whole thing. I have a hard stop. Man, this is sounding so corporate or enterprise. I don't mean to get so enterprise or corporate, but I do have a hard stop. I usually don't say that on meetings, but I do in about an hour. I have a hard stop in about an hour. No, I have to go with my wife somewhere, and I told her I would, and so I have to respect but I told her time as well as yours. So this one's going to be done right around 4 CST, so about an hour. So anyways, let's get into the comments. I'm excited to see what you guys are working on and what you guys have been up to. Yeah, first, who's first? I lose first this time. All right, man, you got first. And before I go through all the comments, man, I forgot my normal flow. What am I doing? Let's talk about subs and stuff like that. Thank you so much, Hype Train. That is so awesome. I love seeing that thing fly across. I still don't know their algorithm for how easy or how often it triggers. I put it on easy mode. I don't know if it needs to be harder or what, but I love seeing it. So thank you. First of all, Myrenil has resubbed tier 1 2 months. Thank you so much. Hi everybody, how are you doing? Xor, dude, resub tier 1 9 months 2 months straight. Dude, thank you so much. How are you doing, Xor? Dude, thanks for all you do. Yo, neon lights. Oh, I'm gonna go with lights or lights. I'll go with lights. That was a follow. There was an earlier follow before we started, roughly. Awesome toast. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Homelab New gifted a tier 1 sub to Antithnes. Hey, all right. Dude, Homelab New, thanks for the gifted sub. Antithnes, thanks to Homelab New for that gifted sub. Man, really appreciate it. Phantom29 has sub, prime sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. The Quantum Penguin resub tier 1 5 months, dude. Wow, 5 months. Time is just flying by. Dude, Nexor, man, he gifted a sub to Torque I'm going to go with Tor Kamata. I'm going with that. Tor Kamata, a gifted sub from Exor. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So yeah, how are you guys doing? What are you working on? What can I help with too? I know that, I got some new gifts back there too. I've been busy trying to improve stuff a little bit. I get a little more lighting coming too. Some things I've been working on too. So anyways, I'm excited to see that stuff back there work, because it's like, I write this code and I work on this stuff and then I'm like, I hope it works. Maybe we'll test in production. That's how it is here at home with my Homelab. But it was good to see that party parrot flying back there, because I've never seen it and I can't even remember the code I wrote to get it to work. I have no idea when it shows up. So your guess is as good as mine. It might be on a redemption though. I think it might be on redeeming lights. I think if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, Ilude, hey, how's it going? First up, yeah, Homelab new, how's it going? Hi, Tim. About to get on a flight here, but thought I'd stop in and say hi. Dude, thank you so much. Safe travels. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if it's to US, from US. You seem to bounce back and forth between here and the UK. So hopefully you have a safe trip, safe travels, man. Dude, thanks again for the gifted sub. I got to get your name right. I apologize. Meyer, I'm going with Meyer Hinil. Meyer Hinil, that's what I'm going with. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Let's see, Exor, yeah, thank you. Yo, man, lots of comments. Love it. It's been a while. Ilude, what is going on here? What face? Yeah, that was for the, I think for the hype train. Appreciate it, man. Train hasn't even left and it's already been hyped up. That's right. Hype on the intro screen is thank you guys. Really appreciate it. I honestly, when I turned that setting on like a long time ago, I never thought I'd see it, so I appreciate it. And sometimes I see it on the intro to my stream, so I appreciate it. Spanx, 23, hello, how's it going? Let's see. Antithenes, how's the hair? All right, hair reveal. It's kind of wild. Well, this is this is what I'm working with right now. It is so wild right now, like I can't even do anything with it. And so I've had curly hair like my whole life, and I've been shaving it for a while. And I just let it grow. I'm just letting it grow. I'm just figuring it out. Every time I need a haircut, I ask my wife, hey, you got a second? You want to try to cut my hair, try something new? And so we do. And so lately it's just been like cutting it and shaving it and making it less wild. But it's pretty wild right now. I don't mind it though. When I was a kid, this is how it was. And I'd wake up and my hair was just like, I don't know. But I've always had this thing where it's like once I put on a hat or once I get my hair wet and then it dries, like I can't do anything with it again until I wash it again because it's curly and kind of crazy. But yeah, anyways, this is my hair journey. I don't know where it's going. We'll figure it out. I don't know how long I'm gonna let it go. I'm always gonna keep the sides probably shaved up, but we'll see. We'll see. Quite a change though from pre-COVID, it's like how it's going versus, well, I don't know how the meme goes. Something like how it started and how it's going. And it's kind of, this is the how it's going. How it started was no hair at all. Q Casey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, I feel like I need to stand up because I'm like not tall enough, and I usually stand up for these streams. So, let's see, how's the hair? Yeah, hair's good. Yeah, not really good, but yeah. Ilude, sorry, honey, no more yard work. Gotta stream. That's exactly how it went, but it was more her telling me, hey, you got to stream in 15 minutes. Hey, you got to stream in 10 minutes. It was her reminding me, and I was keeping a close watch, and I just was like, no shower, throw on a hat, and I'll be good. I mean, I washed up my face. My hands are totally dirty. I would show you, but they're like crusted in dirt. But yeah, every Memorial Day weekend we have this thing, Yard Work Extravaganza, where we just like tear out a bunch of stuff, put in a whole bunch of new stuff, split up a whole bunch of stuff, repair all kinds of stuff, and try to make it look nice. And I usually run the hoses. I'll show you one day how complicated my hose system is. So I don't have irrigation or anything really automatic. I have a bunch of hoses and timers and manifolds and splitters and soakers, and I chain them off of each other. When you see those memes of people's network closet, it's just like crazy rat's nest. That's kind of how my irrigation system is, because it's totally DIY, roll your own. But anyways, it's not in ground, but it's pretty wild. Maybe I'll share it someday. It's not as rat's nesty, but anyways, it's pretty wild. But yeah, that's That's exactly how it went. I've just been doing yard work all morning until about now, until about 20 minutes ago when I was like, okay, I just need to like sit and be quiet for a little bit and and ease into the stream. But yeah, iLude, Git T plus drone and new personal dashboard page. Nice, dude. Great combo. Git T, super awesome. Open source control, and then drone for CI. I'm a huge fan of drone. I've been a fan of drone for a long time. Yeah, you got a great combo. So you're doing self-hosting your source control and self-hosting your CI. Man, that is awesome. I haven't made the jump, so I self-host. What am I saying? My CI runners, but I don't do my code yet. Only because like I won't lose it. I'm not too scared to lose it. But I'm just like I've always used GitHub or GitLab, and I'm just it's just always been nice to know that it's always gonna be there. Maybe I don't know. It's been pretty stable. I got to do it sometimes. So Git T looks awesome. I mean, it pretty much looks like a clone of GitHub almost. But yeah, it's super awesome. Got to check it out. Maybe I'll host it someday. Yeah, but let's see. Homelab new. Techno Tim, zero trust identity. Yeah, aware, proxy related. Yes, all the above. So I'll just throw it out there. Yeah, I've been given Authelia a run for its money, and it's actually super awesome, and it's so easy to implement. I'll throw it all out there. That's what I've been working on. It's really awesome. Homelab new. It's right up your alley. Zero trust, and it's great. I mean, it's in a few minutes, at least how I put it together. You're able to get authentication, and you're able to get one factor, two factor, and even push notification auth if you want. And it's super awesome. So you can do the second factor can be the one-time password with a time-based one using Google Authenticator or Authy or whatever you use, and then paired with your own password. And it gets really interesting when you pair those together with services you already have, and then having single sign-on is another thing that's really awesome. There are some quirks though, and I'll talk about that when I release my stuff that I'm working on. There are some quirks. There are definitely some quirks because a lot of services build authentication into their product, right? Into their product. You think of Portainer, like it has authentication built in. Same with TrueNAS, same with Rancher. But you can hook into third-party authentication providers or identity providers. So there's some quirks. Sometimes you get a double login and sometimes you don't, or sometimes you can, just put the second factor only if you authenticate on the first factor. And I'll explain it later. I'm going too far into it, but yeah, you're right on the money. And I that's one of the things that I've been working on, and I may have something soon. It's super awesome. I kind of dragged my feet for a while because I thought it was going to be either hard to implement or complicated or just way too dense for maybe a video. And no, it's like, why didn't I do this a long time ago? So yeah, pretty awesome. Phantom 29. Professionally, spinning up a new VMware cluster. Personally, finally getting around to looking at traffic. Nice. So two ends of the spectrum. So you got some infrastructure stuff doing at work. VM cluster spinning up sounds awesome. And then finally getting around to look at traffic. Yeah, it's that's one of those other things that it's a little bit easier than you think. I've used Nginx, I've used Apache, I've used Nginx Proxy Manager, and I've used Traffic. I will admit that Traffic is a little more complex than some of the other ones. But the reason why I like Traffic is because it's container first, and so it's easy, air quotes, to add. What am I talking about? It's easy to add a service you're already hosting that's already containerized to Traffic's proxy. It's super duper easy once you get it down. So once you get it down, adding it to the proxy is as simple as adding a couple of labels and then possibly adding a route. So I'm a huge fan because it's container first, and I think that's really cool what they're doing. Let's see, XOR, how's it going? It's going good, man. It's going real good. I apologize. I've been away for 2 weeks. It's just been, life, and I don't mean to make excuses, and I've always had a pretty rigid schedule. Saturday was always the day I was like never gonna miss, and I missed 2 in a row, so I apologize. But I'm doing really good. Really good. Things are, I don't know. Things are not totally normal, but starting to feel kind of normal. Like I saw some friends last night, and and it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Got to see people. Sometimes it's good to see people. I'm not, I'm kind of sometimes a homebody and like to, work on things. But every now and then it's okay to see people. Takano, I've been getting into SDR. Oh, nice, man. Dude, how are you doing, Takano? Good to see you, dude. What are you doing with SDR, man? Let me know. Myro, yeah, the train hype shame. Takano, RTL, SDR, V3, super cheap. Nice, dude. I don't know much about it at all. You have to tell me. Tell me more. Win32, 0 day. How's it going? Great name. I'm currently building a Homelab with Proxmox and Rancher with the help of your videos. Thank you. Yeah, it sounds like you've got quite the undertaking. Yeah, so that's my that's 1 pound I take with infrastructure. I'll say that. But Proxmox is always my base. That's my hypervisor. Oh yeah. So anyways, so the party parrot does appear over there. A party parrot appears when you change the lights. Just saying. If you want to spend points, you don't have to spend points. I know Takano's been hoarding his points. But anyways, Proxmox, yeah, great hypervisor. They've been revving so fast. There's been so many updates lately. I try to look at them and read them, but I just can't keep up. I'm so glad they keep revving on Proxmox. It's such a great product. And yeah, and then from there, Rancher, yeah, I think it's one of the best ways to manage Kubernetes clusters for sure, especially self-hosted ones that aren't in the cloud, that aren't provided by a cloud, I guess I should say, because cloud providers give you ways to manage their own Kubernetes cluster. But if you don't, there's not a great way to do it. You have Kubernetes dashboard, but that's more, I don't want to say read-only, but that's more of managing one cluster, and Rancher helps you do it with multiple, or even create clusters. It's the same with Portainer. But yeah, it's great. It's great. Once you get it, it's going to be frustrating. There are going to be hard parts. There are going to be parts that make you want to quit. But I think in the end, it's great. It's totally worth it. Depending on what you're doing. Because I put some things in Kubernetes, and I don't put some things in Kubernetes. And so there's some things that I have running Docker only with Portainer, and there's some things that I have Kubernetes and that I don't keep in Docker and Portainer. So, but plus I gotta stay abreast of both technologies. I can't just go all in with one. I gotta dabble in both so that I can answer some questions if you guys have some. Bottled up jam. Hey, how's it going? Hey, first time catching your stream. Recently found your channel. Loving the Homelab. Oh, nice. Thank you. Currently rocking some Docker images on my Synology. Nice. Yeah, totally agree. I am a huge fan of just containerization in general. I'm a huge fan of just self-hosting and home-labbing. It doesn't even matter if it's bare metal or virtualized or whatever. Awesome, man. Or person, I should say. What containers are you running? I'm willing to bet there's what containers? I won't make bets. I won't make bets. Phantom. Oh, that one's hard to. I need some accessibility there. I need to talk to Twitch about accessibility. That's hard to read. Not enough contrast. Sorry. I do a lot of web development, so like if it's hard for me to read, it's hard for someone who has low or no vision to read this too. And here we go. I got to highlight again. Phantom 29. Yes to SDR. I'm a ham and love HF and LTR SDR. Nice. So ham radio, I assume. I don't know a ton about ham radio or long range or short range. I assume that's what it is. Sounds awesome. I'm not going to totally self-promote this thing, but I'm going to. So I built this app. It's called Space Weather, and I built it to help people see an aurora, see the northern lights or the southern lights, aurora borealis or aurora australis. But I found that a lot of ham operators end up picking the app up too because they want to know when there's solar flares or any kind of geomagnetic interference, because that can affect their radio signal and how far they can broadcast. I'm totally, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But surprisingly, like a lot of people that use my app are ham radio operators. And I was like, this is a whole different world. I don't know anything about it. I would love to know more. Maybe I'll binge one evening on YouTube and figure it out, because it sounds super awesome. Sounds awesome. Let's see. Phantom, do a bunch of streaming to Broadcastify. Nice. Techno, fan of 29, super fun to mess around with. Really enjoying it. Yeah, it sounds like something like I could get into and just you wouldn't see me for weeks. Kind of like what just happened. Like I would totally binge on it and be like, does Tim even stream or make videos anymore? Where'd he go? Is he alive still? Yeah, that's awesome though. Check out Ads B if you're into tracking flights too. Nice. Yeah. I love this stuff. Homelab, back to UK this time. I knew it was either US or UK. You're in between the two. Meyer, I gotta get it. My name gives you a hard time. I know. I'm sorry. I want to say Meyer and then Hanil. Meyer Hanil. That's what I'm gonna go with. If it's not that, correct me, please, because I want to pronounce it correctly, not just be that guy that doesn't pronounce names correctly. But it's kind of hard sometimes. Takano, I have tried some flight tracking and I've gotten pretty decent range. Nice. Easton, how's it going, man? Good to see you, dude. Happy 9 months to my dude. Yeah, happy 9 months, dude. Thank you. To Easton, yeah, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Antithonies, yeah. Let's see. TV Josh, you could be the third Corey with that hair. It's wild. It is so wild right now. Like, I don't even know. There's nothing I can do with it. Like I said, like once I go hat, I can't go back. Like I gotta wash it again. Cause it's just, it's so wild. It's so wild, but I kind of like it. Like, I went, my wife and I went, just getting some more plants yesterday to prepare for today. And I was just like, I'm totally going to just rock my hair just like as crazy as it looks when we wake up. Because, I had on sunglasses and I had a mask on. So I'm like, no, I mean, I wouldn't care if someone saw me anyways. But I'm like, there's no way I'm going to see anyone. And even if they do, like, who cares? And so I walked around. It was worse than this yesterday with hair just like every which way possible. My wife's just like, oh my gosh, who is this person? Like, I should have left him out. But yeah, let's see, XOR, working on lots, but primarily moving to Linux permanently. Nice, dude. Dude, I've seen that in Discord, man. You're going all in. I like it. You were looking for, I think what I read last is something like you've been staging or setting up a virtual environment with Ubuntu to kind of, get things situated and make sure that things work. And you were looking for an optimized way to remote in that gives you, good performance and less lag. And I think you found something. I think it was Spice with Vert Manager. But yeah, man, that's awesome. I get jealous when people talk about that because I could do it for professionally, for most things, but like personal stuff that you guys see, like it's kind of hard because like I have things that use Windows, Stream Deck, Go XLR, and then everything else. I think it's gonna get there. Every year everyone's like, this is the year for Linux, but I don't think it's gonna be like just some big like year like all of a sudden. I think it's gonna keep slowly creeping in, and it's awesome. I agree. Let's see, Sea Light, how's it going? Greetings from Spain. Love the content, love your channel. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, no problem at all. Hope you guys enjoy it. I got some new stuff coming. I got a whole line of things I've been working on, just trying to build out a different branch of content for you guys. Coming soon. I hope you like it though. Homelab new, nice. You won't regret it. Yeah. I totally agree. I didn't even ask that question. XOR, what distro? I think you're going with Pop OS. I think that's I saw it in your terminal. I saw the big Pop OS logo on there, so I'm thinking it is. Juan Ma, VFX, Techno Tim, some recommendations for a Linux beginner. Yeah, good question. Because I was a beginner. I still feel like a beginner. Like I know my way around a terminal. So it just depends. Like if you're absolute 100% beginner, like you've never even, downloaded a distro and installed it, I would say download. So a couple of things. One, if you have a spare machine, install Linux on there. You have lots of choices, and you'll get lots of recommendations from people. I've had great success with Pop! OS or Ubuntu, which is based on Ubuntu or at least Debian. They both roll up to Debian. I've had a ton of success because they're wildly popular. They have a lot of drivers and they've just been tuned for a consumer, I guess I should say. And so if you're an absolute beginner with those two, you can't go wrong. You'll feel kind of at home. You'll have, there'll be things you recognize, things you can click on, browsers pre-installed, probably Firefox. And so you'll feel kind of at home. Things will be a little bit different. And I would even argue that, I still use Ubuntu for server, to this day. I mean, I've been on Ubuntu, since 4.10 or something crazy. Like way back. I think that was the first one I ever tried. And it's not that I haven't tried others. It's just like, I got really used to Aptitude. I got used to the package manager. I got used to Debian and, being able to run sudo commands and, just the whole entire ecosystem. And while they've done whatever they've done on Ubuntu desktop, I've always found that Ubuntu server is pretty good, pretty stable too. And then, I a lot of the systems I started building or self-hosting always required a specific version of Ubuntu or the LTS version. And so it even ingrained it even more for me. So not saying it's the best, it just works really good. And then if you already have a virtual environment in place, man, what are you waiting for? And even if you don't, you can run VirtualBox on your machine and test it out, even if you don't have a second machine. But if you want to do something with a GUI, with a desktop, you can't go wrong with Pop! OS or Ubuntu. I'm sure there's lots of other flavors out there too. Or just peruse DistroWatch. I go out there maybe once a month and I'm like, what's the most popular OS according to their downloads, or what's the most popular, when I look for new networking, Linux-based networking operating systems, I usually go there. So check those out. And then, if they're virtualized, you can spin it up today. If you want to do it on a physical machine, find an older machine. It performs really well on old machines too. It's most of the time, Linux is pretty light. Depending when you start to get into some of the more, I won't, some of the other distros that have layered on drivers and applications that are very, tailored for specific use case, then they might get a little bit heavier. But we're not talking Windows heavy. We're talking Linux heavy, which is still pretty light. We're a bunch of Ubuntu fanboys around here. I don't mean like a fanboy, I know what you're saying. But I'm just not like diehard Ubuntu, like it's Ubuntu or nothing. It's just like, man, everything I've done and everything I've tried to build always are just like, if you're gonna, use Linux, it's, we support Ubuntu, LTS, yada, yada, yada. I mean, it's been that way, with MySQL, Mongo, anything before I started containerizing stuff. I guess I have no excuse now, but they always had some requirement, or they said it works best on this version of Ubuntu. And so I'm like, okay, I can't really go wrong. I know it's going to work. But yeah, Rocky Linux. Yeah. Phantom 29. Yeah. Good call. So Rocky Linux is another one it's picking up a lot of steam. A lot of people are excited about it. I think an enterprise grade Linux. Yeah, I've read very little. They have a great logo. I've seen t-shirts on the internets, and I've heard a little bit about it, and I read some of their marketing, just saying they're, trying to be one of the best like enterprise Linux. So it seems pretty awesome. Takano, I've been looking at getting some police radio setup or ATC, but I think I'm a bit too far from our airport to get ATC conversions. Yeah, man. Dude, I love it. You explore these topics and you go deep on them. You'll have to let me know how it goes, man. I know you'll have it all figured out. Let's see. XOR, Homelab new. I have not 100% yet, but liking Pop! OS because it has a nice out of the box, but might try. I can't talk. Arco with the i3. Nice, yeah. If you have i3, you want to look at Swayam. Oh man, there's something at Swayam. I'm going with that too. It's directly accept i3's config file. Nice, dude. Juan Juan Ma. Great. I like Ubuntu too. I was using it for learning shell and bash only. That answers my question. Yeah, shell and bash only. Yeah, you can't go wrong with any Linux then, you know? Ubuntu server is super easy to spin up. They're all easy, especially server. If you're going server, yeah, go for it. Try them all, you know, and just settle on one. And then it's just going to be down to, you know, can you get the packages you want to install? What package manager are you going to use? How do they releases, you know, how do they handle releases? How do they handle updates? Do they have LTS versions or do they all have just rolling versions? You know, those are some of the ways that some are going to differ, you know. Let's see. XOR, nice. We'll have to check. ETO, check that out. Yeah, Homelab new. It uses Wayland, which is a bit more performance in certain scenarios. Performant. Yeah, yes, make a video. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's see. M the bomb. Heyo. I've been really debating whether I want to get a setup. I cannot read today. I'm going to blame it on my glasses, but it's not my glasses. I've been really debating if I want to set up this R720 I have. I got pretty weak CPUs right now. Was considering upgrading to dual X 5670s. But just going to be a small file server. The energy cost to store only 8 terabytes doesn't seem worth it. Thoughts? Also, TDP energy cost. How accurate is that? Is there a better tool to know how much a server consumes for power? Yeah, I went through this too, and so I have a 710. I still have it. It's not in my rack anymore. It's on my workbench because I've been doing some other things with it. You know, and it's gonna draw, you know, some decent amount of power. You know, I probably, if you're just gonna use it for a file server, a couple things. Like one, if it's truly just gonna be a file server, you know, that's a lot of power. And not like the energy draw, but just performance wise. It's going to be a lot of power for, you know, powering those 6 disks, right? I think the R720 has 6 bays. And so, yeah, I mean, you might want to look at something else. It's totally up to you. But the 720s, 710s just have a ton of compute. And so you can look at TDP, but that's kind of hard to measure across platforms. Like, and when I say platforms, like if it's DDR3, DDR4, it's hard to compare. And so what I've always done is just plug in some kind of meter, or my UPS has one built in so I can see power draw. That's going to be the easiest, most accurate way. And I'm sure you can find one on you know, Amazon for like $10-15 to measure how much power it draws. You know, it could be anywhere from 200-300 watts, depending on what you're doing. Could be more. And so, you know, while they are somewhat tuned to dynamically adjust to the load that they're taking in. I mean, there's some things that you know are going to use a lot of power. You know, fans are, and even the CPU itself. So, you know, that's tough. I found on newer platforms, it just manages power a little bit better and you save a little bit more. And so if you're in it for the long haul, you know, maybe that could just be your workhorse for virtualization or for any kind of compute that you need to do on demand, and maybe a low-powered NAS or something that can always be online 24/7 might be a good choice. When I got my 710, it was specifically for virtualization. I knew I was going to connect some kind of storage to it, but I needed a decent amount of compute. I was running Blue Iris, I was running Kubernetes, I was running Plex, and so when I started looking at those 3 things, I had those spread out across different boxes. And I was like, okay, if I buy one, you know, I can consolidate and virtualize these things and they can share resources along with tons of RAM. It's something that is so nice about 710, 720s or any enterprise servers. You see, like you can get like a ton of RAM, which always isn't a possibility in some boards, at least value-wise. It's cost prohibitive at some point. But no, the best way is going to be measure it yourself, because a lot of it's going to be hypothetical, a lot of it's going to be loads, and so you know it's going to be some load that they're going to say like, you know, it should draw this amount of watts under these conditions, and you know, I haven't found a better way than just plug it in and measure it, run something, and you know, let it run for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, and look at it, you know, that way. That's maybe that's old school, but that's how I do it. And I think on your iDRAC might say the power draw as well too. I mean, your iDRAC should be tracking some of this, I believe. I haven't looked at my iDRAC in a while, but I thought on my 710 it had the iDRAC, and you could see how much energy consumption over time. So that might be another way too. TDP is sometimes not the greatest way to know really how much energy you're going to use or how much you will use on some platform you're going to move to, which is tough. Hey, well, I missed this one. QKC, thanks for follow, appreciate it. And Simber, hey, thanks. Resub, 2 months. Prime, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's see, Homelab new. Techno Tim, you have, I missed iLoot, sorry. Almost all the police and private company radio is encrypted now. ATC is still clear though. Oh, good point. I've never known. Some people, you see those apps on the App Store, and I hear I hear all kinds of police radio stuff when I open them. But I don't know anything about it. But yeah, I'm learning so much from you guys today. Homelab new. Have you no idea how much I've been hoping you'd make a video about this, because I've just been getting a huge brick wall. Did you manage to use external IDP? We'll get there. I don't want to give away too much. You already know what I'm going to be talking about here soon. I ran into brick walls too, so it was tough. I did run in. I had some challenges right off the bat, because everyone who does it, every demo you see is lump everything into one big Docker compose, and I'm just like, oh man, that's just kind of goes against what I want to do. So there are some challenges. But getting the middleware running, and once you get the middleware running, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. So coming soon. I'll answer more questions here in a little bit. Maybe a few Prime more. I will. Nice. PC Geek, dude, how's it going, man? Hey, just got the notification. Hey, welcome. No worries, man. I think things were a little bit delayed too. I noticed in Discord, things didn't go out for a while. So hope you're doing well, man. How's it going? iLoot, M's the bomb, but a kilowatt, you can measure the actual power usage to the wall. Yeah, that's where it's going. Thank you, kilowatt. That's the product name. I agree. Sometimes that's the best way. And I can see it from my UPS, and I can trust that that's fairly accurate. So yeah, it's going to be the best way. PC Geek, I've been working on setting up stuff in my newly acquired 38U server rack. Dude, I saw it, man. The Sun one. It looks pretty awesome. Phantom, traffic being container D. Container D is the PO. I think you mean, I'm saying container D, but you mean containerized. Yeah. What am I talking about? Is the PL for sure? Yeah, Phantom, I totally agree. Because other solutions that don't support container first, you have to get creative. And what I mean is what happens if that other solution you're using is also containerized, and you have other containers on there? How do other containers use that reverse proxy that might be on the same host? It gets creative, and you might have to do some creative networking to create some loop back into it and then back out. So I agree. So having it be container first is awesome, because then you add some labels, add some routes, and boom, it's just working. It's pretty incredible how easy it works once you get it going. It's incredible. Enzabom also would say low power CPU is good for Homelab unless it's slow and affects the service. Yeah, totally agree. I go low power. Unless you need a lot of compute. And when I say compute, I mean, I'm talking about something that's very CPU demanding. And very few things, I should say, at least for me, very few things are. Rarely am I crunching a lot of data or compiling. I am compiling a lot of stuff, but compiling code, crunching data, transcoding video, those things, very intensive on CPU. File server, not so much, and that can be as low power as you want it to be. And because it just needs to run the operating system. I'm totally making blanket statements, but for the most part, file servers, especially for home, aren't going to use a lot of compute. So I would go as low power as you can, especially if it's going to be a dedicated just NAS and you're going to use something like TrueNAS or you name it. Any other product, yeah, I would go low power, especially if it's on 24/7, 365. I mean, you're thinking about the right things. You're thinking about how it's going to affect your energy bill, or maybe you don't want to consume too much power. So, yeah, I totally agree. Digital K&K, not as complex as Kong. Yeah, I have done some Kong stuff before. So Kong is API gateway management. It's a layer Yeah, that's in front of your APIs that does a ton of stuff. API keys, authentication, you name it. I totally agree. It's pretty complex. I used Kong for a little bit. I've used I used Kong for a while. I used something else, another API gateway, Tyk or Tick, Tyk. It's actually pretty awesome. But that too is pretty complex. So they're both complex. Dude, iLude, man. Dude, thank you so much, man. iLude, man. Oh man. Dude, iLude, thanks. I appreciate it, man. You really don't have to. You guys do so much already. Dude, iLude gifted tier 5, tier 1 subs to, let's see, who are they going to? Nubbin, Brislop, Phantom Way, I am Mangus, and hey, Rye MiFi. That's what I'm going. Rye MiFi. I've seen the name. It's so hard for me to pronounce. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, thanks to iLude for those gifted subs. Appreciate it. But digital NK, yeah, I totally agree. Kong's pretty complex. I used it for a while, and then I was like, okay, I don't need a lot of these, API gateway management features, and so I just ended up spinning up just a reverse proxy, and then I managed some of my API features in another layer that I built too. So I have my own API gateway that I use. That's kind of my back end for front end, kind of, sorta. But yeah, Kong is complex, but that's enterprise grade. I mean, they're not that traffic isn't, but large enterprises use that that have millions of people using their products. So yeah, for sure. Homelab new, LOL, my flight is delayed now, but that's actually a huge positive. If I can hear more about this. Yeah, all right. You keep digging. I like it. PC Geek, yes, bot is up. Bot's been pretty stable. Lately. Let's see. SDR is good. I also use SDR immense to decode DMR radio. Man, this I love it. Man, you guys are talking about things I don't even know about, and I love it because I love to learn new things. But I feel like these are all it's so foreign to me. But keep telling me more because it's gonna drive me to investigate. Probably later on today, I'll listen to something on it. Takano, I've heard people have been able to get police radio using trunking. These are new concepts. I'm loving it. MDBomb. Cool. I'll check out that tool. Yeah, I'm okay. Lower power usage. I just like keeping core counts for VMs. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Nginx. That's what I'm going with. Nginx. Police radio only available in the USA using P25, I think. In the UK, it's Tetra. Man, this is like some other world. I need to know more about it. Oh man, so many new names, or hard to pronounce names. I'm going with Creighton. That's what I'm going. Creighton. Hi, I study JS to build a Twitch bot. YouTube video helps a lot. Thanks. Hey, no problem. Yeah, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome. You're using that Twitch bot that I built to study JavaScript. Awesome. That's it's pretty fun. I love doing it. I mean, my Twitch bot that runs in this channel is running parts of that code. That's why I decided to open source most of it and make it available, because I found that a lot of people do Twitch bots different ways, and I thought, well, here's a simple one that's wired up to every single event that Twitch supports. Now Twitch supports a lot more using different architectures like pub sub and webhooks, things that I've been doing for the last couple weeks. To make things a little bit better on my end. But yeah, I'm glad you like it. If you see something wrong or want something changed, open a PR. That'd be awesome. Alpaca Fire, thanks for the fall. Appreciate it. Welcome. Takano, I'm not hopefully on getting ATC radio, and the closest airport is 22 miles away. Yeah. Oh man. iLude, we all want as much as we can get. Yeah, for sure. Oh man, Takana, I knew you were hoarding points, man. Keep going, man. 11.5k points, dude. Keep going. Let's see how high you can get. And then maybe one day I'll have the 10k and it'll do something really awesome. Unlike what it did the last time you spent 10k points. This time I'll actually do something cool. If not, I'll totally refund them, now that I know you can refund points. Knickknack, I use SDR for ADSB decoding, plane and location tracking. This is awesome. Phantom, yes, Space Weather app is actually how I stumbled across you and your Homelab stuff. Was a great bonus. Oh man, that is so awesome. Well, Geez, that yeah, I don't even know what to say. That's awesome. I didn't think anyone would ever. One, I mean, there are quite a few people who use my app, but I didn't think it would ever cross over. So hey, thanks. That's awesome. Hopefully, it helps with ham radio. If you want a feature on there, let me know. Now you know how to get a hold of me. If something's broken, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter or on Discord. Things were broken for a little while. I had a nasty bug and some certificate stuff with push notifications. Hopefully all that's fixed. If you're on Android, I'm sorry because things were broken for a little bit and I did not know. So anyways, it's so funny that someone actually knows my app. So anyways, Bottled Up Jam. So on my Synology, I'm rocking Pi-hole. All right. Homebridge, all right, I'm running that. Fresh RSS, not running that, but know it. Sonar, Radar, Transmission, know all those. OpenVPN, nice. Jacket and Plex, awesome. Using Synology's reverse proxy, but want to move over to Nginx reverse proxy container when I get some time. Yeah, Nginx, Nginx Proxy Manager would be fantastic on there. There's a container for it. I just need a MySQL database, and you're up and running. I do really enjoy Nginx Proxy Manager too for the logs because that's something that's kind of hard to get at with traffic because they're container first and because they're it's like part of the CNC, the Cloud Native Foundation. All the logs go out to standard out on that container, which then you're supposed to pick up with something like FluentD or something like that. Which is great if you're using those products and you're using a logging product that picks up those logs like FluentD and ships them somewhere. But yeah, it's tough if you're not. So it's tough. Takano, I've gotten pretty decent range for ADBS decoding. Nice. Just using a tiny antenna in my room. Awesome. Did all of this spring from the antenna you needed for your TV? Because I remember you were talking about over-the-air TV and setting some stuff up. I wonder if you just went really deep on antennas when you were looking at something for your TV. Because I'm guessing. I'm trying to connect the dots how you got here. My Here Nil. Oh, thank you. My Here Nil. I'm all over it. My Here Nil. Gotcha. Thank you so much. Thanks for helping me pronounce your name properly. My Here Nil. All right, got it. PC Geek. I just got a 3x3 USB fully programmable keyboard with RGB switches and of course that I can custom program keys to use shortcuts. Dude, awesome, man. Awesome. I think you were talking about this a little bit ago. I'm going to stand up and try to stand up with the microphone because I can't sit or stand for too long. So now I'm going to stand because, yeah, and I guess my camera goes out when that happens. No clue. Camera just decides it's going to crap out for a little bit. Anyways, I'm going to stand now. Dude, awesome, man. Did you get that for hotkeys? I think you got it for hotkeys. I think you were talking about it. I think I've seen it in Discord. 9 keys total. Yeah, I've seen them. Awesome, for sure. Bottled Up Jam, you using QMK for that. Man, all these, I don't know what QMK is. Takano, you should just buy the RTL SDR V3 kit off Amazon to tinker with SDR for a bit if you don't have any hardware. I give it a good rating. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, my interest is definitely peaked. I'm gonna look more into it, at least at the kit, and I'm gonna read it and read the reviews, and I'm probably gonna geek out. Ed, oh my goodness, I'm sorry about just slaughtering this name. Ad Durham, that's what I'm going with. ETH. Hey Tim, how are you doing? Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing fantastic. Long weekend for me, so I'm doing extra good today. So I appreciate you asking. Sergio, boys, SV. Hi Tim, how's it going? Easton, I'm doing well. Things have been crazy here for me. I work at a local minor league soccer team, so I've been missing a lot here since most games are on Saturdays. Yeah, I hear you. I realize that I've got a lot going on Saturdays too, so I'm trying to squeeze it in. So but I'm glad you can make it today for sure. And thanks again for the resub. Shruga. I always fall back to Ubuntu no matter what I try. That's kind of how I've been too. I go out and I get these itches and I go distro watch and I start, spinning up all of these different distributions and I end up going back. I don't know why. Maybe because it's easier, maybe because it's familiar. But I do. I get the same itch and I go out and I try all kinds of stuff. I used to do the same thing with network firewalls too. I'm like, yeah, maybe monowalls, this is back in the day, but monowall, smooth wall, untangle. Oh yeah, I'm on untangle now. No, I'm switching back, and then pfSense, and then OpenSense. I used to hop around all the time. So I used to keep those VMs on all the time so I could just hop around. It just stunk. Like all my DHCP lease reservations and my firewall rules. That's one of the reasons why I kept those VMs around. But it would stink because I'd hop back on the other distro and I was like, oh yeah, I have reservations I didn't actually save in this distribution when I fire it up. But yeah, I hear you, man. XOR, I will say, if you need any help, come to Discord. I can help you. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Ubuntu 4.10 was the first Ubuntu. Maybe that's why it's so familiar to me. Maybe that's why. It was like 2004 or something. Yeah, so it's, yeah, maybe that's why it's so vivid to me. Unless I was saying 404. I don't know. I think it was. Or was it 2004? I think so. I don't remember. But shortly, I know that 6 is one I used for a long time, too. Yeah, a lot of good memories there. Juan Ma, thanks, man. That's so kind. I will have it on mine. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, absolutely. If you have more questions, you can absolutely join our Discord. We hang out and talk about a lot of tech stuff there, too. Takano, I've used Elementary OS for a while now, and it's been pretty good so far. That's right. You were the one that introduced me to Elementary OS, or made me look into it a little bit. It totally looks like a Mac OS clone. Like, really clean, really sleek. Like, it looks awesome. Phantom, RIP CentOS or CentOS 7, my preferred since professionally using Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Rocky was also the founder of CentOS or CentOS, is hoping to develop a new distro like what CentOS was based on with Red Hat Enterprise Linux source. Interesting. I'll have to check it out. Chicano, so you have to use DSL, superior version. Yeah, DSL, damn small Linux. I remember that. I think it would fit on a floppy. I think it would. Damn small Linux. I totally remember DSL. I totally remember. I used it for sure. Classic, awesome guy. Hey, thanks, Classic. How's it going? Maybe that wasn't directed at me, but it's directed at someone else, hopefully. JVE Dant. While choosing an OS, the only thing to consider is, according to me, is the job you want to get done with it. Hey, that's a really good point, because I have different tools for the job, yeah. I mean, you guys can all relate. I mean, a lot of things you use are maybe because you have to, or maybe because you want to get it done more efficiently. And I try to do the same thing. Like right now, obviously this whole entire stream's on Windows because it's the only tool for the job. I bet I could hack something in with Mac maybe, but no, I actually can't because my GoXLR won't work. But then there are other, jobs I do, especially for work, where it's Mac. And there's other jobs I do, like in my Homelab, where it's 99% Linux. So I totally agree. Best tool for the job. So I totally agree. That rings true with me as well. Homelab cell service is so bad. I've noticed, at least for me. You're getting a small picture of Tim every minute. I apologize. I probably don't have transcoding today. I didn't check, but I apologize. Yeah, I've noticed, at least for me, my self-coverage lately has been weird, bad. I don't know if all of a sudden, all these carriers weren't ready for people to crawl back out of their holes after being inside and on Wi-Fi for so long. But man, cell, or at least data, has been so slow for me when I leave my house. Maybe I've just been spoiled on Wi-Fi with my phone for a year. So slow. Chicano, anyone else that has messed with the RTL, SDR, any tips on identifying signals? The 452, 453 megahertz area is crazy full of activity. Oh my gosh, this sounds awesome. I have nothing to contribute to that other than that sounds awesome and I want to know more. XOR, yep. Been testing it. Got Docker and Portainer up and running with a few containers. Looking for 8.4 general availability coming soon. Yeah, awesome. Dale Kurt, how's it going, Dale? Hello, everyone. Phantom. Google tends to be your friend. All frequencies are allocated by the FCC. So if you get a general sense of what would be on that frequency, don't forget things like radar will also appear in those bands too. Ah, man. Alpaca, Fire, hi, how's it going? Durham, hi, Tim. Had that Kubernetes drop support for Docker. Does that even make sense? Please explain. Yeah. So it makes sense. I understand what you're getting at. Yeah. So Kubernetes in the future is deprecating at least Docker as a runtime, and so you'll have to choose another runtime if you're running Kubernetes. And so for most people, an easy choice is going to be Containerd. That's what K3S runs out of the box. So if you're running K3S, I think the default is Containerd. You can switch your provider back to Docker. I don't know why you would want to, because it's going to be deprecated in future versions. And for a lot of people, it's not going to be any change. Like if you're spinning up clusters using Rancher, they'll use whatever they use, right? So Rancher's kind of managing that for you because they're actually spinning up Kubernetes clusters in containers for you and doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and that'll be the same for a lot of people. If you're hosting in the cloud, there might be things you need to do or need to change. But even cloud providers, I've noticed with GCP, they're running an older version of Kubernetes. In Google Cloud, Google themselves, they offer a older version of Kubernetes, and it's going to be up to their customers to change and make that switch. And they offer OSs that have Docker built in or Containerd built in. So I don't know. I'm not too worried about it now. I'll be worried more about it when they actually fully deprecate it, and then cloud providers are actually using an old version of Kubernetes. Because I think in cloud providers, it's a lot of the times, unless you're using managed Kubernetes, it's going to be up to the customers to pick which version they want to run. But if it's totally managed, then no, it'll eventually come. Anyways, in a Homelab, I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you're running K3S and you just installed, if you ran a K3S command to install it, you're already using Containerd, so nothing you need to do. If you're using Rancher, you also don't need to worry about it because they'll take care of it for you. And I think for Rancher, they're going to spin up a Kubernetes. Well, if you spin up, it's complicated, but not that complicated. So if you spun up Rancher on an existing Kubernetes cluster, you would have taken care of that already, right? So if you did K3S, you got Containerd, and then you installed Rancher on there, you're good. But then if you provisioned a new cluster from Rancher, they use Docker still to spin up their additional clusters. So, and that's going to be up to them and how they manage that internally. But if you did provision a cluster through Rancher, it's really up to them, and not much you need to do. It sounds scary, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It surprised some, didn't surprise others, and so. The long and the short is that Kubernetes just basically said, we're not going to maintain these shims anymore. They had a lot of shims in place, and they were maintaining this interface, this contract between Kubernetes and Docker. And they were doing these things because, Docker tends to be, for the most part, a consumer or developer product. It can do other things, obviously, but there were parts of the API they either had to patch or fix, and they were basically maintaining a contract with Docker when they were like, well, we're only writing this because, because either things aren't compatible or it doesn't work the way we want it to. So we have to write these shims, and we don't want to do that anymore. But yeah, I'm not, I could probably talk about it for a long time, but I'm not too worried about it. I run K3S and I've been on Containerd, so I won't have to worry about it there. And then any of my Rancher provisioned clusters, Rancher will take care of it. So I'm not that worried about it. That was a long. I tried to keep it short. Dale Kurt, Kubernetes is now using Containerd for the technology. Yep, Containerd will run Docker images. Absolutely. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I should have let Dale answer that one. It's complicated. It can be complicated depending on how you provision it or where you run Kubernetes. I mean, your mileage may vary. If you're running in the cloud, you want to check there and see, when. Before you make the upgrade in the cloud, or if you're using, a managed Kubernetes from them, for the most part, you should be fine. Alpaca Fire. Hi, wanted to build a server for virtualization. Can you recommend the hardware I'm on for a budget? Oh, that one's tough. I mean, if you really have a $500 budget, you're gonna go with an AMD. You're gonna go with a last gen or 2 gen ago AMD server, and this is if you want to custom build it. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, you're gonna have a lower core count. You're gonna have lower RAM. And you know, once you cover RAM and motherboard and CPU, I mean, you're going to burn up a lot of that $500. Drive space then is going to be, you know, you could buy used or you could buy new. It's really going to be up to you. You could apply that $500 to you know, used enterprise gear if you really want to get into if you want to get a better value. I think we talked about that a little bit earlier. I mean, you can score, you know, 720s, 710s around, you know, for around that much, maybe a little bit more, depending on how much RAM and which CPUs, and depending on if you want to part it out all individually. That's going to give you a ton of compute. But as we mentioned earlier, it's going to use a lot of power too. So it really depends. I know you have a budget, and I know you said virtualization, but you know, what workloads are you going to be running there too? Because that all depends. XOR, yep, Containerd does not require everything else used by Docker. Yeah, totally agree. Oh, lots of, I already answered that, Pocketfire. Dale Kurt, you might be able to purchase a decommissioned server at cost. However, they do use a lot of energy. Heck yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Let's see here. All right. These are replies, and I'm gonna warn you, because I said around 4 CST I do have to wrap it up, just because my wife's now waiting on me. But I'm gonna look through and look for mentions, and I want to make sure that I'm not skipping over anyone who's looking for an answer directly. So I apologize, but I do have to cut it. I do have to wrap it up, only because she's been waiting. Let's see. Rye. Oh, I got it. Yeah, it's Rye here. Rye MiFi. Yeah, Tim. I know my nick is hard. Rye MiFi. My country code is Finland. All right. I got it. FYI, Tim's got hard stop. Yeah, 10 minutes. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I do have hard stop for sure. Let's see. I'm looking for direct mentions only because I do want to respect your time too. Bottled Up Jam, Techno Tim. Damn, I didn't know about Nginx Proxy Manager. It looks awesome. It's way easier to set up and manage traditional Nginx reverse proxy configs and certs. Yeah, it's fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. That and traffic, fantastic. But Nginx Proxy Manager, yeah, I know PC Geek's a huge fan. It runs great. You just need a MySQL database, and if you're hosting containers on the same Docker host as Nginx Proxy Manager, you're gonna have to do a little magic on networking just to be able to get that to loop back and go through the Proxy Manager. But yeah, fantastic. I love the logging too. That's something I miss for sure. Takano started with that, then kind of got distracted on YouTube recommendations. I was thinking I'd be interested in SDR and watched a couple of vids and ended up buying one. It totally sounded, all right, man. I think I got it. Yeah, I figured that was the case. Okay, I'm looking for mentions because I do have to wrap it up. Dezentars Dev, have you made a video on your network management? I mean, how you isolate different networks? Every inside of singly hypervisor host, do you use VLANs, OVS, Linux Bridge? How do you make them talk between? I use VLANs. So I use Proxmox, I use VLANs, and I use Unify, and that's how I segment my traffic by VLANs. And then in Proxmox, I make my virtual machines, or I make Proxmox VLAN aware. And then I assign VLANs to virtual machines. And so that's kind of how it works. My Unify switch owns the VLANs, and then any device connected to it, I assign. If it's physical, if it's virtual, then I assign it to that virtual machine that way. and do Proxmox, and it works pretty well. So do I have a video on it? No, I've considered doing it, but my network design is very similar to It's My Natural Color. I can't recommend that video enough. It's pretty long, but it's pretty awesome. And he has a 3 or 4 part series. I think it's 4 parts. Part 3 is the one where he talks about VLANs and how he has it set up. I followed that to a T, but then added on 3 or 4 more VLANs because I had different needs than he did. And you might find that way too. I would recommend if you're going to start doing this, don't start too wide. Create VLANs for what you need, and then go from there. If you go really wide, it's just going to be more network rules. You're going to have to create network rules, firewall rules. But I think I have 5 or 6 VLANs. But yeah, and it's really going to be up to you. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. That's kind of how it works for me. It's VLANs, and then Proxmox is VLAN aware. Assign VLANs to those virtual guests. It's pretty easy with Proxmox. How's it going? Droid RZ Lover. How's it going? All right. How are you? All right. Digital Link. I'm going with digital K&K. Bye, Tim. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just joined your stream for the first time. Just want to say hi. Thank you for the content. It's great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I do have to wrap it up though. Abdurrahim, can you please make a video on your router journey? It's so interesting. Thank you. It's kind of been it's a two-parter. So I have something out there. I'm using Unify now. I know that's not for everyone, but I couldn't be happier. I have very few qualms with it, but for the most part, simplified a large portion of my life in network administration because I know some people do it for a job and some people love it, but it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like network administration or designing networks and managing firewall rules and VLANs is tough. It is really tough. Any Blast, resub, Prime, 5 months, 1 month streak. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's see. Who's left? MBZ4 Live. Hi, Tim. Thanks for building a K3. I'm building my first K3S Pi cluster. Thanks for your videos. Thank you. They saved me hours of docs and reading. But could you talk a little bit more about balancers? As the more I read about MetaLB and VIP, the more confused I get. Yeah, that's a huge topic. Real quick, John Sid, thanks for the sub, Prime sub. Thank you so much. Troy Lover, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you. Troy Lover, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh man, start with the hype train, end with the hype train. Is that what that means? Oh, I think so. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So real quick, I'll touch on that one topic and then I gotta go. But dude, thank you guys so much. So MetaLB load balancers, yeah, it's tough. So if you're running Kubernetes at home, you need a load balancer. If you're running Kubernetes in the cloud, you get a load balancer. You pay a lot of money for it, and your load balancer is how you expose traffic outside of your Kubernetes cluster. So if you want things to come into your Kubernetes cluster through an ingress, you need a load balancer, and that's kind of how it works in the cloud. If you're doing it at home, you don't have a load balancer, a traditional cloud load balancer. And what MetaLB does is simulate a cloud load balancer for you so that you can get traffic into your Kubernetes cluster through the ingress. And if you're just doing node port or host port on all of your nodes, you don't need it, right? But if you want to do it, the Kubernetes way and use their ingress, it's probably the way you should do it. And the only easy way to do it that I'm aware of is MetaLB. And so MetaLB will expose your Kubernetes cluster on another IP for you as if it was a cloud load balancer. It's kind of confusing. But if you don't need anything coming into your cluster, you're good. But most likely you're going to need it. So you're going to need MetaLB. I think I have another video that includes MetaLB. It's a few commands. It's a little, the concept itself is a little more challenging than running the commands. The only thing I would recommend is set aside an IP range that your cluster's on and just say, hey, these are IPs for MetaLB only. And then install MetalLB, run. I think it's a kube control command to get MetalLB up and running. It will grab one of those IPs, assign it to range, and then use that IP to then get inside of your cluster. And if you really want to make it a little bit easy, segment that your whole entire Kubernetes cluster off. So that's the only way they can get in there. That's how I run mine. It's the only way that any traffic can get in there. And then you can't cheat and do host port and node port. But it's really going to be up to you. That's how I manage mine. So that's the quick and easy way of how to manage MetalLB and what it is. Hopefully that helps. Man, you guys. Sigor, dude, thanks for the sub. Resub, Prime, 7 months. Man, I can't leave during like Hype Train. I know my wife's probably like looking at her watch. But no, I do need to. I apologize. Hey guys, sorry, short one. I do appreciate you stopping in, taking some time out of your weekend. Hopefully, if you're in the U.S., enjoy the longer weekend. I think most people have a longer weekend and Memorial Day. Stay safe. Enjoy the weather. I know we have great weather. I usually start with weather, but I'll end with weather. Great weather across the U.S. Pretty dry. It's a little bit colder out east. I think you're getting our weather from a day or two ago. But pretty dry, pretty nice for most parts of the U.S. So enjoy. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much. There were tons of subs. We started on a hype train. We ended on a hype train. So man, great bookends to this stream. So I appreciate it. I'll try not to be away. I'll try not to miss 2 streams in a row because that's way too long. And if I do next time, I'll try to get one in midweek or something like that. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. If you have or are interested in or have more questions I wasn't able to get to them, hit me up in Discord or hit me up on Twitter. I'd love to answer them or find someone who knows the answer to them. If you join our Discord, you get the benefit of finding someone who knows the answer. We have a lot of great people in our Discord, a lot of people that are in this channel now that know a lot of these answers and they have a lot of experience. So if you haven't joined Discord, I highly encourage you to because there's just a great community of people helping people and figuring things out. And even if it's not just only problems, a lot of people just come in there to hang out and talk about tech. You know, a lot of the times you just need a break from normal life and do Homelab and tech chit chat. And so there's a lot of that in there. A lot of great suggestions too. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will see you guys absolutely for sure next Saturday. And then maybe something here in a little bit. So I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much. Enjoy and be safe. And as always, be good to each other. Take care.